used it to celebrate Saturnilla, and the return of the harvest once the longest day of the year was over. People also used light and fire to warm up the winter period for centuries and to protect themselves from darkness and illness. Light was later used to celebrate Jesus, as the Romans linked Christian holidays with practices of the Celtic, Roman, and other European peoples. It is believed that the first modern Christmas tree comes from the 16th century in Germany, where they were decorated with candles, apples, nuts, and berries. They would only be lit momentarily, and if they were lit longer, people kept buckets of sand and water near the tree because of the possibility of fire, which did occur in New York, causing a major fire in the 1900s. In the 1830s, the idea of the tree was brought over to the United States by German immigrants. Previously, it had been banned by Puritans and other Christian groups in the United States, as they thought it was a symbol of paganism. The first Christmas tree, as in the type that we widely use now, was introduced by Queen Victoria's husband, Prince Albert, who was in fact German, in the 1846. It was then used in the United States by President Franklin Pierce in 1856. They did not become wildly popular until the 1870s. They were mostly lit with handmade ornaments, with handmade ornaments and Christmas lights used as candles. Christmas ornaments, as we know them, did not come over until 1890s from Germany. The first Christmas tree in Rockefeller Center was placed there in 1931. But let's go back to the decorations for a second. Candles were widely used, as I stated, until 1882, when the electric lights were first introduced by Edward Johnson, who worked with Thomas Edison. Johnson took a Christmas tree and put it in their window on a rotating board, and strung 80 pear-shaped bulbs that were on one wire. The bulbs were colored red, white, and blue. cents. In 1923, President Coolidge lit the national Christmas tree with over 30,000 lights. By the 1950s, the popularity of aluminum trees put electric Christmas light companies out of business as they could not be used on the trees. Starting in the 1970s, almost all Christmas lights were foreign made. By the 1980s, it became a competition to see who could have the most lights, popularized by the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation movie. By the 1990s, it was a competition to see who could be the most innovative in their Christmas decorations, and by the 2000s, we were using computers to create insane light displays to music and timers. There is now a website called tackylighttour.com, which tells you where to go to find light tours around the United States. And by the 2010s, LED lights became popular. In 1900, a string of 16 light bulbs that were meant to be shaped like flames and were in brass sockets sold for $12, which is approximately $350 in today's money. By 1914, a 12-foot string cost $1.75, and by the 1930s, they were cost efficient enough that everyone was purchasing them. Today, around 150 million light sets are sold in America annually. That does not include the lights that Americans already have and use and will be put away after the months of Christmas decoration, that the reason we celebrate is to take time to have a day off, to spend time with friends and family, and to remember what we are grateful for, what we are happy for, and why we are here. Although there are people out there who are not Christian,